Welcome to another episode of the Suffer Up Podcast with Nate and Ryan, where our mission is to encourage and lead others to suffer with a purpose, striving to level up in life with an emphasis on spiritual, mental, and physical well-being. Today's episode is a very special episode for us. We just recently got back from doing a 100-mile race, Ryan's 100-miler, and I was a small part of that. And so we have a really good perspective on the overall race platform and race overview for the Forgotten Florida Trail Run, which was a 100-mile race.
Yep.
So we're going to get into that in just a second. But first, we want to say a special thank you.
Soft socks.
And before we give our normal pitch,
Yeah.
let's just say how amazing soft socks were.
Yeah. Well, I ran in them for 2/3 of the race.
Mhm.
And the only reason I switched out of them was because it was so freaking cold. And I needed to put on some warmer socks.
Yeah.
The soft socks are great. They just don't make a like wool or thick insulated sock yet.
Mm.
So that's not an option from them. But for the first 2/3 of the race, I wore two different pair of socks,
Mhm.
both soft socks. Wore one all the way through, 50?
50.
53 miles. That's when I
With no tape, no lube, nothing.
yeah, I didn't put anything on my feet. I just raw dogged it.
Yep, pretty much.
Put in the sock. And I got to Nate at mile 53, and that's when we first took a look at my feet, and I had one blister.
It was like a beginning stage of a blister.
Yeah.
It wasn't gnarly at all.
One blister on my one toe that in the past has also gotten blisters.
That toe always seems to get it.
Yeah, it's just the toe that hates me. But beyond that, all the rest of my toes looked great.
Yep.
And then at mile 84,
Mm-hmm.
took off.
Yeah,
So at
84.
53, looked at my feet, put new soft socks on.
Yep.
Mile 84, new soft socks again. Or
Mhm.
I'm sorry, that was the new socks.
Yep.
The
You
warm
put
socks.
the wool socks on at
Yeah.
84.
That's right.
But we swapped it.
We swapped them.
When I got to you, we swapped into a fresh pair. So from 50 whatever, 52,
53 to
53,
84.
84 was a fresh pair of soft socks because the other one's
Yep.
real sandy and kind
Yeah,
of
so
muddy.
about another 30 miles on soft socks.
Mhm.
And at that mile 84, still the same blister on the same toe. No
Yep.
new blisters.
Nope,
Just that same one.
not even any hot spots.
Yeah. Where was it that you popped the blister? Was that
That
at
was
the-
84 at Charlie Lake.
Was it? Okay.
Mhm. Yeah, so I popped the blister when we swapped socks.
Yeah.
And taped. And
So I was
lubed.
getting just a hot spot at 53, and then by 84,
Yep.
it
It was a pretty decent blister, but every long run you've done, you've pretty much developed
same
same
toe.
thing, same
Yeah.
toe. Yeah.
Yep. And after he popped that blister, and I put on some different socks, not soft socks, at the end of the race, the blister had come back,
It did, yeah.
which just goes to show I don't think it has anything to do with those socks.
No, I don't
But-
think so.
The other 9 toes being blister free was pretty awesome.
Yeah.
I was expecting some gnarly toes, and other than one blister on a toe and one toenail that I kicked into something on the trail,
I remember that, yeah.
I had no issues.
And I wore one pair of soft socks and never took my shoes off for 40-ish, 8, somewhere in there miles.
Yeah.
And I didn't have even the first hot spot.
That's awesome.
And I normally get between my second and third toe. That's a prone area for my toes to get a little blister.
Yeah.
And I didn't get any of that. So that was the longest I've been in soft socks, and very, very happy with them.
I guess you guys listening can tell now that we're not just shouting their name for no reason.
Yeah.
We use them, we believe in them,
Yep.
and I don't think there's anything else to say about it, but
Yeah.
go get you a pair.
Yep.
Use code SUFFER10 for 10% off, and try a pair for yourself. I don't think you'll be disappointed.
Nope. Yeah. Very happy with them. We put them to the true test, so now we can say that we can definitely put our money where our socks are.
Also, yes. Also, I don't have a hole in my soft sock.
Really?
I started the run with a fresh pair, and the bottom, like under my the ball of my foot, looks like it's worn,
Mm-hmm.
but there's not a single hole in them yet.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's pretty great because my feet were also not dry and nice this whole race.
No.
The first half was pretty mucky and muddy and
Yeah.
just nasty. So yeah, I was impressed with that too. I was like, let me see the bottom of these socks. They look great.
Yeah.
Really.
The one pair that I've had since the beginning of the channel, just a couple weeks ago, finally tore a hole in the big toe.
The big toe. Yeah.
But every single pair of my socks, I wear a hole there.
Yeah.
Like just by my toenail does this weird scoop thing.
I am thoroughly impressed with how long these last, especially with how much we wear them, what we do with them. I mean, it's impressive.
Yep. So yes, Soft Socks. We are a huge fan of them. You can check them out. They are American-owned, veteran-owned. They're great people, great company, local here. So go over to our link tree in the show notes, softsocks.com. You can click on it. And again, discount code SUFFER10. So today, we're going to give you guys a recap of the Forgotten Florida 100. They have other distances that we'll talk about. And this will be a 2-part episode. Part 2 will be kind of the lessons and kind of the more raw just experience of the race.
Yeah, the emotional side of it.
The roller coaster. That one will be kind of the lessons learned and the journey of the race. This is more just why Ryan signed up for it, what the race is, what it's about. Idiot. No, you're not an idiot. It was an amazing experience. And if you're thinking about doing this race, we hope that you walk away from this episode feeling like, okay, I know more about the race now because there's not a lot of podcasts or even really YouTube videos or anything about the race. So this should give you a good synopsis of the race as a whole. So Ryan, let's start with just why the Forgotten Florida.
Well, good friend of mine convinced me to sign up.
Yeah.
No. Yeah, I was already signed up for so Run Bum is who hosts the Forgotten Florida race. Run Bum events or Run Bum races. They host a bunch of races over the Southeast. They do a good job, I think, at creating fun experiences with their races. It's not just about the run, but like they have you run through beautiful areas and stuff too. So shout out to Run Bum. Yep. My first longer run that I did, I guess, was a 25K hosted by them. And then back in November, I did the Wild Florida 50K, which was one of their races. And I was already signed up for that. Then you and I started talking about doing the Florida Death Race, which is the 74 miler hosted by Run Bum, also here in Florida. And the next part's silly. So we signed up for that, and now I'm signed up for 2 out of the 3 races that they offer in Florida. And Run Bum does this thing called the Florida Man Challenge, where if you sign up for their 3rd race, their Forgotten Florida 100 miler, and you complete all 3 races, then you get this Florida Man plaque.
The marketing scheme worked.
It worked hard, man. And you peer pressured me a little bit. You're like, hey, you're already signed up for 2. What's one more?
Yeah.
Which you're not wrong. I just wish that the 74 miler and the 100 miler were a little farther apart in time.
Yeah.
But that's okay. So reluctantly, not reluctantly, but scared, I signed up for the 100 miler.
Well, let's rewind just a second because we have a really good friend, Mark Porter.
That's fair.
Shout out to Mark.
Shout out to Mark.
And he just did 100 with his whole family, basically. And people who aren't runners went and completed 100 miles within the cutoff.
This is true.
And we called him. I called him, and then you called him.
Yeah. We spoke to him while he was doing his 100 miler.
Yeah.
And then we talked quite a bit afterwards and found out that his training regimen leading up to that was almost non-existent.
Yes. And that was kind of the deciding. We love you, Mark, but the comment was said, if Mark can do it, I can do it.
Yeah. I don't know about anyone, but
no,
I felt confident that I could finish it if Mark Porter could.
But he's got a level of grit there for sure.
Yeah, I'm still impressed. Yeah. I think Mark came out feeling better than I did after his 100, so he's a beast.
Yeah.
And his whole family.
Yeah.
That all did that. It's crazy. Anyways, yeah, so Mark was the straw that broke the camel's back there as my final inspiration. I thought, well, if I'm going to do it, just do it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there's never going to be an ideal time. You're probably always going to be scared to run 100 miles. You can train and train and train your heart out, but until you do it, you don't know.
Yeah.
So I paid up and committed.
Full send.
Yep, full send. And just like life would, it hit me. I signed up, and about a month later, I got an injury in my groin and leg area that was not great timing, but it really prohibited my training.
Doing a 5K.
Yeah, I did.
You and those
some ultra runner, and you go out there and run a 5K and get hurt.
Those little fun 5Ks.
Yeah.
Not to be fair, 5K.
I said PR or ER beforehand, and I almost hit both.
You lived it out.
I did hit the PR, almost went to the ER.
Man of your word.
Yeah. So I got a 5K PR.
That was great. Yeah.
But also injured myself in the process. Not a great plan, knowing that I had the 100-miler signed up.
Sure.
Anyways, got that injury. Didn't get to train as much as I wanted to. Kept reminding myself, Mark can do it on no training, so can you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Your past training will carry you. And it was fine. I think I would have enjoyed training more and being more physically prepared for the 100-miler, but I really do think I had a good base built up already from the 50K. I think if you can run a 50K, for those of you listening, if you can run a 50K all the way through without walking, I think you're probably ready for a 100-miler. You're going to just have to walk a lot more.
Sure.
So you're going to have to figure out your run-walk plan and do it from the get-go. Mm-hmm. But if you're okay with running a 50K, not fast, like you don't have to be an all-star, but if you can just jog it all the way through, then I think you have the base that you need for a 100-miler.
Yeah.
For sure. You definitely do have the base for a 50-miler. The first 50 miles of this course were very technical. Well, we'll get into that, but it was, I don't want to say easy, but like I didn't feel extremely challenged going through that.
Let's pause there for just a second, because you hit on something too, and we'll talk about like how the race went for you, but you got injured about 6 weeks out ish.
8 weeks.
Somewhere there. 8 weeks. Okay. So 8 weeks out, you got injured, and your like peak mileage leading up to was like 12 miles for that last 12 to 15 miles. But you did do one long run that was 16?
2 or 3 weeks before the race, I ran a 15-mile.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah. So it goes to show, like you had the base, and you kind of fell into like a maintenance level of training.
Yeah.
/ rehab / recovery.
My Garmin kept telling me I was maintaining. So I was still doing other stuff,
right?
And like trying to stay active. I could row, and I could do various like weightlifting stuff that didn't hurt my injury. So I was still trying to do that stuff and keep up some kind of cardio.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, hindsight, I probably could have done more of that, and it would have been more beneficial. But I definitely think that I was able to maintain still. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So going in, you're at maintenance level, and a lot of people would feel super discouraged going into a 100-miler and being like, wow, I haven't trained enough. I haven't, like, what's up with this? Why am I not putting in the miles? Like, it's easy to look at other runners and be like, man, they're putting in 110-mile weeks every single week. And it just goes to show, if you're out there to race a 100-miler, then you need to be putting in those miles. But if you're out there to just tempt the distance.
Well, and as we'll discuss, I think that had I been able to put in more miles ahead of time, I think it would have been great injury prevention.
Yeah.
I don't know that anything would have prevented the injury that I sustained on the 100-mile trail run, but I think it definitely would have helped.
Yeah, 100%. So the why you signed up for it, we've both been talking about the 100, right? So the 100 distance was definitely a mountain, and
it was one of those things where like we've talked about it, and you claim to be an ultra runner, and then at some point you got to put your money where your mouth is. A 50K is barely scratching the surface of ultra distance.
Sure.
So you got to just step out on the limb and do it. And maybe the limb breaks and you fall, or maybe not.
Yeah, the end of the story is Ryan did get his buckle, but we'll eventually get there on that. So, anyway, so we drove down. It's east of Orlando, Christmas, Florida area. Christmas, Florida, which is a tiny little podunk town, and they missed the mark there. They could have really made Christmas something special.
If you're expecting like a Hallmark movie Main Street, fix your expectation.
Yeah,
it's not that.
I don't even think they have a blinky light.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
I don't think so. No.
Maybe a stop sign. Like, it's not much at all.
I saw like 3 Christmas decorations, and I'm not really sure if those were just left up from Christmas or if they're, part of the culture.
Right. So it's over in Christmas, Florida, Oviedo kind of area outside Orlando. And we drove down there. Ryan drove down the day before with his wife and a couple kids.
Yeah.
2 of his children.
On that note, sorry, Nate, of where it's at. If you're ever looking to do this race, you're probably going to have to stay in Orlando or Oviedo because Christmas has like nothing.
Okay.
So expect to drive 20 to 30 minutes to and from the race area every time, between wherever you're staying. If you stay in Oviedo, it's going to be a little more expensive, but it is a super nice area. And if you want a more affordable option, stay in Orlando, the east side of Orlando. It wasn't bad. That's where we stayed.
Mm-hmm.
And
it was a nice rental.
Yeah, it was not bad.
Yeah. So Ryan went down the day before, kind of get settled, get his bearings of the area, and did cruise station / aid station drive-tos to kind of know where everything was at and get a layout the day before the race. Highly recommend that.
Yeah.
If you can do that the day before and kind of scout the course, that is a huge, huge benefit, especially for the nighttime section. And then I came down the day before the race, and the section that I was going to be pacing you, got to see those 8 stops and everything, and we caravanned in the vehicle and did all that. So all that was great. We had a nice meal. Your wife made that stellar pasta the night before.
Best pre-race meal.
Yep, that chicken pasta dish was delicious. And then we did packet pickup that evening.
Yeah.
So you want to go over kind of packet pickup?
Yeah. So we went out a little early for packet pickup, and like Nate said, we looked at the back half aid stations because Nate and my dad were going to be assisting me on that half. So I wanted to make sure that we all had a good idea of where everything was. And most of that back half is extremely accessible for your crew. A lot of it's on a road, like a lot of the trail, quote unquote trail that you're running on for that section is on a road. I think we ran on the road for like 30 some miles.
Yeah.
Not a paved road, but like a hard packed gravel.
Yeah. Fire service style road. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyways, so it's all very accessible. Your crew can like drive alongside you if they wanted to.
Mm-hmm.
But that was good. Packet pickup is at night, which was not an ideal time, like 5 to 7 or something. It's prime dinner time.
Yeah.
But other than that, packet pickup was great. It's always fun to be around a bunch of other runners, and they were not just doing packet pickup for the 100, but also for the 50 miler. There's a 50 mile option there, and an 8 and 15 mile option as well. So had a bunch of different people out there, a bunch of different race distances, but it's just a good atmosphere being around a bunch of other runners who are excited about the next day, maybe a little nervous.
Yeah. And another cool thing that Run Bum does is they do photography for you, and it's actually really stellar photography. Yeah. So you get your bib photo, snap a picture with your bib, you're looking all fresh and amazing and all the things, amped to run this race. And then there's photography along the way in the course, which is really nice that they do that. And then the finish line photos as well. Which
and all of that's included. I mean, after the race, they just send out a link and say, hey, photos are ready, and you go there and you can download them for free. So it's really cool.
Yeah. They're really nice quality photos, and I think he does that for all the races, which is...
Yeah, the 2 or 3 run bum races that I've done, it's had photos that were free.
And I know he does it for Florida Death Race, so that's really cool.
Yeah.
Get some photos. But yeah, so we did packet pickup, then went back to the house, and then we had dinner.
Yep.
And had dinner, and then early-ish bedtime.
Yeah, race started at 6:30 on Saturday morning, so we had to get out there a decent time. It was still dark when we got there, and man, that start line was packed. Yeah. There's so many people running this thing. I was not expecting that many people, but being the 150 start combined, there was a lot of people there. And again, though, the vibes, the atmosphere were great.
Yeah,
everybody's like, it's like the start of a party. Just everybody's pumped up and ready to go.
Oh, on that note too, if you're thinking about doing this race and you sign up for it, the GPS coordinates that are in the info or the runner's handbook, make sure you read it, because some, like when you plug it into your phone, it will sometimes take you to a slightly, it's reasonably close.
It's very close.
Slightly different actual spot.
Yeah.
So just kind of really do your homework. You should do this before every race anyway, but really do your homework as far as the start, aid stations are pretty spot on, but as far as the start and then the packet pickup location, all that, it was a little bit off. I don't know if that's just like it changed from years past. I don't know, but just be aware that you kind of got to look at where you're actually going, not just plug and go. So
the start of the race is in this park, this local park, there in Oviedo, and the coordinates take you to one side of the park, and because it was so early in the morning, that side of the park, the gate was closed and locked.
Mm-hmm.
But if you go around to the other side of the park, it's the main entrance. It was open, and that's where everybody was. So we found it. It wasn't a big deal. It was just like, hey, this isn't exactly right.
Right.
So the park itself was the correct place, but the exact coordinates that it took us to, not spot on.
Yeah. So just little heads up. It's not like that big of a deal, but just make sure you pay attention to that.
Yeah.
So
I would say, try and get to the start line early-ish, 30 minutes early or something, and give yourself time to work through little hiccups like that, get warmed up, whatever you need to do. You don't want to be rushed.
Minutes.
Yeah, you really don't want to be rushed at the start line. You want some warm-up time.
Mm-hmm.
We got there a little close.
Yeah. 5 minutes too.
Was it 5 minutes?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We had just enough time to walk up, take a picture with you and the kids and Sydney, and then it was hugs and kisses, and you were gone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's good. I didn't want time to stand around and think.
Yeah, that's fair.
No.
So yeah, there was a little race brief. Sean gives a little race brief of the course markings and everything, and then you're kind of off. So, again, we're gonna make this into 2 episodes, but as far as kind of the course overview, topography, and everything that you saw for that first 50 miles.
Yeah, you run through the park initially, so you got like a mile or so, and on gravel roads and I think some sidewalk, a little bit of sidewalk stretch, and then you duck into the Florida Trail and you start your beautiful run. The first 8 to 10 miles, I would say, are pretty technical, and there's a lot of swampy sections that they've built these boardwalks over. Some of the boardwalks are in better condition than others. You'll hear more about that in the next episode, but overall, it's just more technical. So be prepared to walk and go slow early on. Pretty much every time we got to a boardwalk, everybody would stop running and just walk across it, because some of them were pretty slick too, being early morning and like some dew on it. You hit a water station really early on. I don't remember if it's like 3 or 4 miles in, but that was nice. There's a water station, porta potties, stuff like that. So, if you got to the race late or something and didn't have time to go to the bathroom or didn't have time to fill up your water or something, early on there's a spot to take care of those things and then get back on the trail. And then you run till I think mile 13, where the first aid station is, and pretty much from the water station to the aid station is more of that technical rooty trail, but I mean, it's beautiful. You're just running, and by that time it's about sunrise. You start in the dark and the sun's coming up around that time, so you're running through the woods. The sun's shining through the palm leaves and starting to hit you in the eyes. It's beautiful, absolutely gorgeous back there. But you do need to be careful and be prepared to go slow early on. You can't go out thinking, "Oh, I'm gonna blaze these first 20 miles and then just suffer through the rest."
Yeah.
Number one, that's a terrible strategy for a 100-miler, because it's really going to suck later. And number two, it's just not super runnable. I mean, it's runnable, being that it's just Florida. It's mostly flat, but it's more technical.
Yeah.
So take your time there and run the really, really, really runnable sections later on when you're on these fire service roads and gravel roads and stuff like that, because there's nothing stopping you there.
Yeah.
That would be my advice, is just be comfortable with walking early.
Okay.
But yeah, anyways, you get to the aid station around mile 13. You do this little out and back loop. It was pretty wet on a section of that, so feet got muddy right there. I think in their aid packet or their packet thing, what you call it, runner's handbook. They say that it's possibly wet in that area. We were there in about the driest time of Florida history. Just about. I think everywhere in Florida's in a drought right now. And it was still mucky and wet, so I think it's just always wet.
Yeah,
it's not possibly wet. It's gonna be wet. But it's not so wet that you're like ankle deep in water or anything. So your shoes are just getting mucky and dirty, and maybe a little bit wet. But otherwise, just rock on, man. Like you don't need to bring a change of socks. You got about 15 or so more miles from that point till you see your crew, and could change socks there if you really wanted to. So, it's not bad. But while I'm on that topic, you don't see your crew until mile 30.
Yeah.
Which is kind of rough. There is an aid station or two before then. There's that one that I was just talking about. There's that aid station. You do the loop and you come back to that same aid station. So you get to hit that aid station twice. And then there's another aid station just before you get to your crew at mile 30. But not seeing your crew for the first 50K of a 100-mile race is a lot.
Yeah.
I do wish that there was some more crew access on that first stretch. Because even after that, even after you see your crew at mile 30, you don't see them again until mile 47. So you go 30 miles and then 17 miles with no crew, which is just not ideal. I mean, the second half of this race is so crew friendly. And compared to the first half, it's like they're almost two different races.
Yeah.
Because the second half, we were seeing people like every 6 miles or less.
Yeah. Which, I mean, if you're going to have crew access, it's nice that it was definitely in the back half.
Yeah,
but
I would not want to run this race in reverse.
Yeah.
That would be awful.
That would be awful. But I think that's, if you're tied with Rum Bum and you're listening to this, highly recommend putting an aid station in. At least, well, there is aid stations, but as far as the crew access.
Yeah.
On that first 50K, because
and I get it. Like the run is so beautiful because a lot of it's so remote and untouched, and maybe that really limits access for people to get back there and actually crew you. Even their first aid station, the first real aid station that you hit, do a loop and come back and hit it again, it's like in the middle of nowhere. It's back in this mucky trail, so it's not. It's not like it's a parking lot that everybody could just roll up to. So I think they're doing the best with what they've got in the area that they're in. But I would like to see more crew access in the first bit.
Sure.
How
did the crew people or the aid station people get back there? You just have 4-wheel drive and
yeah, I mean there were cars back there.
Okay.
There's just not room for 150 runners, crews to be back there.
I see.
And yeah, I don't know. I don't know what the answer to that, like how to make it better is. I'm not sure.
Yeah. Okay.
But could be a little bit better somehow.
Yeah.
It's like the least helpful thing I could say.
That's
but
fair.
There's got to be a way to make it a little bit better, or maybe do drop bags. So that's one thing that I did notice on this is that drop bags were only allowed where crew access points were, which kind of defeats the point of drop bags.
Right.
I mean, if you don't have a crew, then your drop bag is your crew. So I get that. But had drop bags been allowed at that first aid station at mile 13 or so, that would have been a big help, especially since you hit that aid station, do a loop, and come back and hit it again. Like, you would have had 2 opportunities to get stuff from your drop bags. So, yeah, it's not your crew, but being able to have your stuff there would make a really big difference.
Yeah.
And I know that would, be one more thing for them at that aid station to have to deal with. But I think that would be a way to make it a lot better.
Yeah, definitely.
For sure.
Okay. I mean, it is called the Forgotten Florida. So
It is. And I mean, like I said, you don't get that beauty without being in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah, that's true. The Forgotten Runner.
Yeah, hopefully not.
I'm just kidding.
We only saw a couple of forgotten runners.
That is true.
Moseying around.
But with that topic of forgotten runner, we were just kind of kidding, but they did do a really good job at kind of keeping the accountability of people, especially near the end of the race. As you come into the checkpoints or the aid stations, they would ask you your bib number, and they wrote them down, and it was quite apparent that they were doing a pretty good job as far as where people were at. So
yeah, I mean, I think as long as you do what they suggest from the start, which is download a GPX track on your phone or watch or both, and you follow that if you ever have any questions, which you really shouldn't because the trail was extremely well marked.
Yeah.
There was either blazes, like you were on a trail that was already blazed that you could follow, or there was pink flagging you could see one from where you were at with another one. There was never a point where I was like, I don't know where to go. There was always markings. Sometimes you had to stop, like you didn't see them immediately. You stop and you look around and you see it. Okay, it's that way.
Yeah.
But for the most part, I thought the trail was very well marked for being 100 miles long.
Sure.
And unless you got severely off course, I don't think that it would have been a big deal. Because you come into these aid stations and they're checking on you. They're making sure, hey, you go back out, go this way. Mm-hmm. Or, some of the aid stations that you hit more than once, they're like, is this your first time here, second time here?
Yeah.
And they're then directing you which way to go. So I thought that was very well managed and very well marked.
Yeah, good. Awesome. So, yeah. So you had Bronson, and then you were calling it God's Swamp, but Devil Swamp, right?
Yeah.
Talk about those as far as, that historically has had this reputation of being like super, super, super muddy. And then Bronson is managed by a fella that just kind of either lives in the woods or lives in the area or whatever.
Starting to think those are his woods.
Yeah, talk about that particular area, because everybody seems to talk about that section.
Yeah, so that section is between the first crew aid station at 30-ish and the second crew aid station at 47. It's closer to the second one, so it's somewhere probably around I don't know where the actual aid station is, but the swamp I think is somewhere around 42, 45, something like that, because you're running on the trail, you run into this aid station Bronson, they call it, and the guy asks you, first time here, second time here, or what? And first time, all right, you go that way towards the swamp. Great.
Yeah.
So then you take off and you run through the woods. He lied to me. He told me, I said, how far to the swamp? He said, I don't know, like a mile maybe, mile and a half. It was like 3 miles in, and then there was a swamp because the guy in front of me heard him say that, and we got a mile in, and there was like slightly wet ground, and he's like, oh, this must be the swamp. And I was like, I don't think so, man. They're not calling this Devil's Swamp.
Right.
And sure enough, about 2 miles later, we were in the swamp.
Yeah.
It was mucky. You could blaze through it. I mean, you definitely could. You would get some wet feet. Actually, the first place guy, I saw something that he posted about that swamp. He said, I was running through, and the swamp took my shoes, and my next 2 steps were barefoot in the mud.
Oh, wow.
Or in his socks, I guess. But yeah, it just sucked the shoes right off his feet.
Wow.
So you can run through it and just potentially have that happen to you.
Sure.
But there's really no way of getting around it without getting muddy. I mean, I tried to go super slow. By that point, I was already moving a little slower, and I tried to go slow and pick my lines. It worked mostly, but I mean, you're just surrounded by it.
Yeah,
you're just trying to step on palm leaves and sticks that are hopefully going to keep you up a little more.
Right. But it was dry going into it, so had it rained.
Oh gosh, yeah, I couldn't imagine. They said that a few years ago that the race took place during like a 200-year flood or something.
Wow.
And it rained for 30 hours. I couldn't imagine what that thing would look like then. You'd be knee deep.
Really?
Oh, absolutely.
Wow.
And I think one of the guys that was there during that, I was running with him early on, and I think he actually said that his buddy stepped into it and was almost waist deep.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
totally different trail.
Yeah, I mean, you're talking like 2 inches deep, or not even over my shoes,
right,
to waist deep.
Yeah,
and that's very, very different.
Yeah, your base might as well swim.
Yeah. So I mean, anyone who's interested in signing up for this know what you're getting into, but pay attention to the weather leading up to it, because that's really going to be the biggest factor. It was for us too, just in a different way.
Yeah.
I mean, the weather leading up to it for us was freezing cold, and the day of the race, of course, was like the coldest day and coldest night. So we had to battle that, but we didn't have waist deep water to.
Would you rather have had the cold temps that we had, or the wet, and slightly chilly?
I'm actually happy with the cold temps we had.
Yeah.
I would hate to be super wet and cold. That's miserable.
Yeah.
And like you can't change your clothes fast enough and stay warm.
No.
So, I mean, I wouldn't mind that much water if it was in the summertime.
No.
When it's 100 degrees.
It'd be almost refreshing.
Yeah.
But in the summertime, that course, you'd be picked up and carried away by mosquitoes.
Yeah, no kidding.
Like, I can't imagine that trail.
Yeah. That'd be rough.
In the summer months. Like, it'd be horrible.
That would be bad.
Run with
all
bug
the bugs.
suits.
Yeah.
It would get malaria.
You ever seen somebody run 100-miler with a mosquito net?
Yeah, no, that'd be miserable. So then you come out of Devil's Swamp, and then Bronson is after that.
I think you loop back around to the Bronson aid station again, or maybe you go to the crew aid station first. I'm not exactly sure, but you have to hit the Bronson aid station a second time, I know, and then you head out from there. But I'm thinking, you hit Devil's Swamp, go back to Bronson, and then you go away from there.
Okay.
And you went towards the second crew aid station, but the 50-milers, they got to just go like straight through into the woods towards that aid station. The 100-milers, we had to go do this weird little out and back down this road.
Okay.
Just to pick up a few more miles. It was like 1.5 miles long out and back, so 3 miles total. And it was getting later in the day and colder by then, and they were making some hot broth there at the aid station. Shout out to the aid station workers. So I come through, and they're like, "You want some hot broth?" I was like, "Heck yeah.
Yeah.
I'm already walking. I'll walk and drink some hot broth."
Yeah, that's awesome.
So I got to walk down that road and enjoy a cup of hot broth, and then turn around, come back, and I got another cup to go into the woods.
Good for you.
Yeah.
Get some good salt.
Oh, yeah. I was trying to stay hydrated and warm. Anyways, so then you go to your second crew aid station at like mile 47 or so. That is a nice area. It's a little grassy parking lot, and really nothing to it. There's a cattle gate there that you got to make sure you close, but there's volunteers there to make sure that you don't forget that kind of stuff. I will say the first half, really like between that 25 to 50 mile mark, somewhere in there, you're running through a lot of cow pastures.
Okay.
And there is 1 or 2 gates that you have to either open and close or climb over, dealer's choice. You have to make sure that you close them back, though, if you open them, because there are cows out there. And with that, there's also a lot of you got to climb over the fence. But because it's on the trail, they've built these steps that you climb up, step over, and climb down. So it's not awful, but again, it's one of those things to keep in mind, like that's going to slow me down. Like if you're trying to run this thing straight through, know that slow down right there, take your time. You don't want to fall on a barbed wire fence and get cut up. Like it's not worth it. Also,
that's how you get your elevation.
Yeah, that's where all 9 feet of my elevation came from. No, I think I got a little more than that, but not
over
much.
1,000.
Over 1,000. Over 100 miles.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, so we got a whopping 100 foot every 10 miles.
Yeah,
that's great.
Very flat.
Yeah. Anyways, with that, those step ups to get over the barbed wire fence, some of them were not in the best condition either, and they were broken or broke as people were standing on them. So again, just like be prepared to slow down and take your time over stuff like that. Look at where you're stepping and step light-footed, I would say. Like don't just jump down onto these things, because you're in the middle of the woods. These things have been there for a long time. They can't repair everything immediately. I wish they could.
Yeah.
But there's a lot to maintain. So just take your time and don't hurt yourself.
That's good advice.
Yeah.
So then you come out of Bronson, and then you catch after what is it, 50? Right at 50 miles, you catch a shuttle.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So you come out of I think it's Seminole Ranch aid station where you see your crew the second time.
Mm-hmm.
Come out of that, you run a couple miles. I would say that was like the last super pretty section of trail. And then you come out of the woods. You like instantly pop out of the woods on this little dirt road where you see a shuttle sitting there waiting to pick you up, a little like transit bus or something. And you hop in. They'll wait for a few minutes and make sure that nobody else is coming behind you, or if they are, then they'll wait for them and y'all pile in there. And then they drive you across this main road, which is kind of weird. Like you're hopping in the car in the middle of your race, but this main road is pretty busy. And, you know, if you were just out for a run by yourself, no big deal to cross it. But when they're responsible for 150 plus runners,
Sure, yeah.
I get why they do it. So they drive you across this main road and down this little residential street and drop you off at the next trailhead, basically.
Okay.
So you get like a mile and a quarter or something of, really fast pace.
Yeah.
My watch said I was going like 2-minute mile pace.
Yeah.
But you just leave your watch running. That's part of the course. It's planned. Everybody's got to do it. So it's fair. I mean,
sure, yeah.
not like one person's running by it, but they drop you off and then you run down these, fire service road for a couple miles to get to the finish line if you're doing the 50 miler or the halfway point for us who we're doing the 100 miler.
Mm-hmm.
And at that point is where you can pick up your pacer, i.e. Nate.
That's me.
That's you. There's a little aid station right before you get to the finish line, so if you need more food or something, they've got that there, but then the finish line is a half a mile away maybe from that.
Sure.
So I just ran right by the aid station and went down to see you guys.
Yeah.
But that was one point, that was one of the next points when they're asking you like, hey, what number are you?
Mm-hmm.
Making sure that they got your bib number and they're asking you, is this your first time here?
Mm-hmm.
If not, you need to turn around and go back the other way.
Right, yeah.
Trying to make sure that people don't run loops in the woods for no reason.
Sure. Yep.
So they were doing a good job at that. And even as I ran by, they're like, what's your bib number?
Yeah.
Told them and kept on running or walking.
And that 50 mile finish ends up being the 100-mile finish too.
Yeah.
So it's this long, it's like a mile straight away, just about.
Mile and a half.
Yeah. Well, it kind of makes a bend, but like that last section is probably right at a mile. It's almost to a point where if you look down into the trees, it almost comes to a point like on Looney Tunes. Like it's a long straightaway.
Thankfully, I was there the first time at night, so I couldn't see any of that. I'm just walking in the dark at that point and just going. There's no. I think I was coming in like right after sunset, around like
it was shortly after
7,
sunset.
8, something like that
Something like that.
night. So anyway, it was dark and I couldn't see how long it was. But
Yeah.
when we finished the next day,
Yeah.
oh my gosh, it looked like that thing was never going to end.
It's like a Looney Tune road, man. Like
we kept walking, but it never got any closer. Yeah. Like
But
kept stretching.
when Ryan came into that aid station, it was like a big boost for him because he just basically only saw his wife twice
yeah.
in 50 miles. Big morale boost. It was really windy.
Yeah.
So like the weather was, I think the lows overnight were in the low 20s.
Yep.
And
Wind chills were
in the single digits.
Either in the single digits or like 10, 11. I mean,
Yeah.
It was cold.
Very cold. And the wind was just cutting. It was a due west wind. So strong.
So those
out
of you
the
looking
west.
at this race thinking, oh, it's in Florida, it'll be warm.
Yeah,
Probably,
maybe.
but maybe not.
Yeah, it's Florida. We've gotten snow 2 years in a row, so I don't know what Florida is anymore. But
yeah. So just, again, look at the weather before you come.
Yes.
Rain could make a huge factor in this race,
Mhm.
and the cold definitely played a big factor in it for us,
Yes.
too.
So we picked Ryan up at 50. That was like a big morale boost. I can't wait for the second episode because there's a lot of things that happen that I haven't even told you yet.
Oh, great.
So it's going to be, next episode is going to be awesome. But
as I came down that dirt road and I knew I was getting close to you guys,
Yeah.
I called Nate and I was like, I want to sit in a warm truck.
Yeah.
Please, because I had just gotten out of that little that van, the shuttle that takes you across. And I was like, man, it's nice in here.
Nice
this is
in here.
toasty.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
I was like, I want to get out of the wind and sit in a warm vehicle again while I get some food in me and some water and stuff and get refreshed. I'm really glad that you guys were able to accommodate that.
Yeah.
I got there and they're like, all right, front seats heated up for you.
Yep. Yeah, I had a rule with that though. Like I feel like as a pacer, you have like to set some parameters because I'm like, you can get in the truck, but you're not allowed to shut the door.
Yeah.
Because if you shut the door, no, that's like
he would like basically let me like taste the fun or the warmth,
the comfort,
the comfort, but not really get it.
Yeah.
Because if you get, which I appreciate, because if you get too comfortable, you're not gonna want to get back out. It's like when we did our Death by 5K.
Yeah.
I went to sleep at one point during that race between one of the legs.
Yep.
I got in my sleeping bag, got to sleep.
Oh yeah.
My alarm went off. I didn't want to wake up. Once I did wake up, I didn't want to get back out of my sleeping bag into the cold.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just like every step after that was 10 times harder than if I would have just stayed up and stayed out of the stupid sleeping bag.
That's it. Yep.
And so I appreciated it. I mean, I really wanted to be in a nice warm truck, but I was still thinking clearly enough for sure to know that like
you looked pretty good at 50.
Yeah, for sure to know like no, this is definitely the best course of action.
Yeah.
Good call.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, we did a sock change, snack. We took a minute at that one. Sydney got to say hi and and good night.
Yeah, I'll say good night to my kids.
Yep. So that was good. Refueled, restocked, recharged. We had to kind of charge up some stuff, and then we head out into the night. And so that next section, I'll kind of hit on that since I remember it.
Yeah, hit me.
So that next section, we go back out the way that you came in, and you dive back into the Florida Trail. That section from, we'll call it start finish, to what aid stations called power line, that section is the worst section on the back half. What I mean by worse is it's essentially just nothing but just technical Florida Trail, and all you're doing essentially during that whole section is just kind of plodding along. It's kind of rooty, kind of technical, ground's kind of soft, and it's also the longest section that you go without any sort of aid during that back half of I think it's like a 7-mile stretch, something like that. I think it's 7-ish.
Well, it's actually not the longest section you go without aid.
No, because Charlie Lake.
Charlie Lake.
We'll get to that.
But it's the longest section like on the trail that you get again.
Yeah.
Like I was saying, on the first half, most of it was on the trail and most of it was alone. But yeah, the second half has so much road walking or running.
Yeah.
And which is good, but the trail also crosses all these roads, so there's a lot of access points.
Yeah.
But that 1 6-mile leg is not great.
Mm-hmm. No, it's a little more technical, a little more slow going. And we'll talk about it later, but Ryan had a little bit of an injury early on in the race, so the back half was mostly a march.
We call it power
walk. Yeah, power hiking. Yeah. So
I had my poles out. I was trudging along.
Mm-hmm. So I don't think we even got your poles out though till
we didn't until
Fishhole.
Fishhole. Yep. Because I told you I wish I would have had them on that section of power line.
Yeah.
Or that section leading up to power line.
Yeah. So yeah, we got to power line and the wind was whipping out of the west.
Before we got to power line, that's when the first place guy passed us going the other direction.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that was insane.
He finished in like 16 hours or something crazy. Shout out to you, Alec. You're nuts.
We're like going through the swamp, and then all of a sudden we see this headlamp. I'm like, no way.
Yeah.
And sure enough, he was trucking along super quick. So yeah, we got to power line, and then you had your first kind of chair time.
Yeah, which sucked.
Yeah, we shouldn't have done that. I regret suggesting that.
That spot was just the bad spot. Powerline Road is just so open and just exposed to everything. I mean, if it was daytime, the sun would be beating you there.
Yeah.
In our case, it was nighttime, and the wind was just whipping through there.
Yeah, it was.
And you come out of the woods where you've been protected from all that, and then you pop out, and you're like, oh, man, it's windy out here. And then to sit in a chair and, like, cool off a little bit more.
Yeah.
It was not the best plan, but whatever.
Yeah, roll on with it. But we had you covered up in a blanket, restock, refuel, get some calories in them, and you had a candy bar. We popped those out. That was a good morale boost, and then we headed off to Fishhole. Fish Hole was kind of like a shorter section.
Yeah, we only had like 3 miles on the trail from Powerline to Fish Hole.
Yeah.
So that was like a nice little boost. Like if you're doing a long run or a long event of any kind, or even like having a long week at work, you set checkpoints for yourself. And by this point in the run, I was definitely setting checkpoints. It was like, I'm not trying to think about the next 50 miles. I'm trying to think about the next checkpoint.
Yes.
And so from Powerline to the next aid station, which was called Fish Hole, it was only 3 miles. And it's like, man, that's a super nice checkpoint in my head, because all I got to do is a 5K on a trail and I'm at another aid station. This is great.
Yeah. So when we made it into Fish Hole, you had a little bit of ramen, chapstick. If you do a winter race, make sure you have chapstick.
Yeah, if there's any wind.
Yeah. Our whole faces were chapped really bad.
Thank God that we had our little face mask.
Yeah.
Like we were wearing toboggans, gloves, and these face masks that came up over our nose and mouth. And basically I just ended up with a little bit of windburn on the top of my cheeks, like right under my eyes where that wasn't covered. Yeah. But I mean, dang, we were pretty much almost fully covered from head to toe, and it was still cold.
It was very cold. So yeah, come out of Fish Hole, and then so Powerline to Fish Hole is all trail. And then when you come out of Fish Hole to Charlie Lake, you get a little bit of trail coming out of Fish Hole. Yeah. A real short section. And then you hit Fire Service Road. And then pretty much from that point to when you get back to Fish Hole is nothing but Fire Service Road.
Yeah. I don't know if it was the GPX track was like mismarked with the aid stations. The course was correct on there, but the aid station was not showing up right on, I don't know if it was the GPX or if it was just a Garmin thing. But when we left Fish Hole, it was showing that we had 9 miles till we got to our next aid station.
It wasn't quite.
And I was like, man, that sucks. Like that's a long ways. I was just saying that 3 mile stretch was really nice. Now we got 9 miles. That's a long time. So we're trudging through the woods, and I'm going, Nate, I don't think it's that far. And he's like, I don't know, man, that's what it says. And I was like, yeah, but we get on the road, like right up here. It's not that far to the road. And then we're not on the road for 5 miles. There's no way. And he's like, oh, I don't know. Maybe like we go down around the corner and maybe it's farther than we think. Like we drove it yesterday. We only drove it once. What do we know? Well, we pop out on the road, and I'm like, sweet, we're on the road now. Like that was another checkpoint in my mind to get to the easier walking area. I actually ran a little bit on the road right there.
You did.
Yep.
Yeah, you did.
And so we pop out on the road, and I'm like, dude, there's no way it's 5 miles or 6 miles, however far it was saying till the aid station, till Charlie Lake. There's no way. And so we keep walking, and then we can see it. And I'm like, it's right there.
Yeah.
And at that point, we both realized, like, no, the watch was off. Something's off.
Yeah, something's off.
And basically, it wasn't accounting for us hitting that aid station the first time, because then you go to Charlie Lake and you go south down the road and do an out and back.
Yeah.
You go down the road for, I don't know, 3 miles.
Yeah, it's like 3.5, I think.
It's 2.5. 2.5 down, 2.5 back, because that was the 5 miles.
That's right.
So, so we had to go down and back. So, anyways, we come to Charlie Lake, and I'm like, it still says we have 5 miles to go. And Nate's like, we didn't really even talk about it, but we were just like, okay, well, what are we going to do? And I'm like, I'm just going to keep walking.
Yeah.
I just kept on walking because I already had it in my head that I had to go 9 miles till I got to the aid station. So I was like, I'm committed. We're just going to walk. And I think you went and caught up with my dad in the truck and let him know what was going on.
Yeah, I got him parked and grabbed you snacks.
Yeah.
You just kept trudging.
Yeah. And if you guys ever try and do a 100-miler without crew, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I know there's people that do it, and I mean, maybe after you've done a few, maybe it's not such a big deal, but if you're doing your first one, find you a crew, find you a pacer, because, man, that's a game changer. It takes a lot of the pressure of like thinking off of you, and even in that instance, I was able to just keep walking. Nate went to the truck, grabbed some snacks, communicated with our crew there, and then jogged to catch up with me. And I never had to stop. I just kept on rolling.
Yeah.
And like I knew that he was taking care of whatever needed. And then in 5 miles we'd be back to that point, and I could actually sit down at the truck. But man, that it's so nice having somebody there like in your corner for you the whole time. it's I really don't know how to describe it other than that. It's
Yeah.
like you picture the movie Rocky and like Adrian in his corner over there patching him up, but that person gets to be with you the entire time and gets to see you, and like we'll talk about it more in the next episode,
Yeah.
but like they get to see you and the nonverbal cues that start happening, and like they just start to anticipate your needs and know what you want
Yeah.
and need. It's so helpful.
And the navigation part of it.
And navigating, yeah.
Yeah.
If this trail would not have been quite as easy as it was, I
Yeah.
could see where navigation would play a huge factor.
Oh, yeah, 100%. Take the thinking, and all you have to do is work.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that first section out of Charlie Lake, I think that's really where you kind of started to really feel the weight of the distance the most. So that section felt really long. And what was tough about that one at night is you're kind of passing people coming back, so it's kind of slightly demoralizing mentally because you got these people coming back from where you're headed.
Well, and it's
And-
like that for the next long time.
Yeah, long time.
Long time. Many hours later, it's
Yes.
still demoralizing watching people pass you.
Yes. So you get to this dead end. It goes from this really well maintained road to pretty well maintained, but it's more grassy and
The grass trail.
yeah. And it's still like a fire service road, but you get to this little yard sign and it says turn around, and there's a hole punch there, and we kind of punched it, but the punch didn't work. So
Yeah. Run Bum, if you guys are listening, this is one more area of improvement.
yeah,
Put 2 hole punches there.
Yeah.
Because if one breaks like it did, then we're kind of left just trying to hole punch it, but
Yeah.
also just we can't.
yeah, right.
So I think Nate ended up taking a picture of the hole punch on my bib, like
Uh-huh.
holding it next to my bib, basically showing like, hey, we went there.
Yeah, right.
Obviously, we've got our track going on our watch and
Right.
phone and like can show that we went that far. But if you're going to have people hole punch their stuff at that side,
Yeah,
have a backup, because 2 is 1, 1 is none.
right. Mm-hmm. Yep, we've said that before.
Yep.
So yeah, we came and then we turn around and head right on back. That section you got to talk to your buddy Jimmy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
My friend Jimmy, who I ran my 50K with, he stays up late. I don't know if he ever actually sleeps. He might be a vampire.
yeah,
But it's like 4 a.m. and we called him,
yeah.
and that was a nice little pep in my step.
We jokingly have it said on the trail because Jimmy, for those of you who don't know Jimmy is just nothing but energy. Like he is
Yeah.
just a ball of just pizzazz.
Picture like a super hyperactive kid that's like not bad, like not out doing bad stuff, but just hyperactive and like good spirited.
Hyperactive in life.
Yeah,
Just-
and that's Jimmy. He just never grew up from that.
No, yeah, and he we jokingly were kind of joking on the trail about we need to make T-shirts like Jimmy in a bottle.
Yeah.
Yeah, because if you could just bottle up his energy and share it with people,
Oh man.
it's addictive. So
But just talking to him does
Yeah.
kind of work.
yeah, that was good.
It's definitely a boost.
Good morale boost. And then we come
Yep.
back into Charlie Lake, and I'll say this about Charlie Lake: those aid station workers at Charlie Lake, stand up job.
Yeah.
Like they had that place bumping. They had music going.
They had a fire.
They had a fire, which was a huge morale boost for a lot of people.
That's nice.
I
I didn't really need it. I mean, I think I sat in the truck at that aid station again for a minute.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you came
but
back through.
yeah,
Because you walked through the first time. Then we did. That's where we did the blister pop
yeah.
and sock swap and some.
But I still stood by the fire
Yeah.
for a minute before I came to the truck because
Yeah.
I was like, "This is great."
I ran ahead to kind of get things started with your dad.
Yeah.
And then you had some hot tea and some other nutrition and whatnot.
I've been thinking about that tea this whole week.
Did you like that tea?
Yeah, I liked it. I was like, man, I need to
I'll get
figure
you
out what
some.
kind of tea that is.
Yeah, it's some turmeric tea.
It's good stuff.
Yeah, so you had some tea, and then that that next section of Charlie Lake,
Yeah.
least favorite part of the course.
Blah.
It's 12 miles total.
Yeah.
With one water stop.
Yeah, I wish I wouldn't have talked to anybody before that. As I went, it's like one of those things. Like you need to know what you're getting into.
Yeah.
You need to know what's ahead so that you set your expectations right. But also, like I just don't want to hear it sometimes because that's miserable to think of. And right before I was going to leave Charlie Lake, I was talking with a guy, and he was like, "Yeah, I think you got like a half marathon, and then you're back here." And I was like, "What?
Yeah.
What did you just say?"
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah, I mean, I don't know if it's quite that. And I think I asked you, and you're like, yeah, it's 12 miles. And I was like, oh my gosh, we got to walk 6 miles out, turn around, walk 6 miles back before I can get back to this truck.
You can't see the end. Like, it feels like you're never going to get there. It's just nothing but straight roads. No curve in the road. Nothing to really look forward to.
Yeah. I mean, there's curves eventually. Like, yeah. But when you get to the final stretch where the turnaround is, it's down. It's another side of the power line road, and it's just long, straight. There's power line poles every so often.
It's essentially a levee.
It's basically a levee, yeah. There's water on both sides. And good God, was it cold and windy.
Yes. We watched the sunrise there.
The wind was blowing head on. So we walked down this road, you turn left, and then you're on this levee that Nate's talking about. And as soon as we turn left, you're facing west, and the wind is just blowing right in our faces.
Yep.
I'm going to guess 20 miles an hour, maybe more.
There was a consistent 20.
Yeah.
I was watching the weather throughout the night to kind of anticipate needs.
Yeah.
And we had gusts up to 40.
Good God.
Yeah.
So we're walking head on into that. And like Nate was talking about before, you see the headlamps of other people coming towards you. And I kept thinking, like, is that the turnaround point?
Yeah.
No. The headlamp just got closer, and then we passed each other. And I'm like, oh, man, how much farther?
Back up, though, before that, they had a little water drop station.
Oh, yeah.
And because at this point, we're near the back of the pack because of the situations that we'll talk about in the next episode. The water drop station was extremely well picked through, but they had a half-frozen PB&J sandwich.
Yeah, we roll up on the water station, and Nate's like, everything's frozen. I'm like, great. And I didn't need water right now anyways, but when we come back through, I might.
Yeah.
And he's like, I mean, I can bust the lid open and get you some water if you need it. I was like, nah, I'm good right now. And I saw these boxes of Uncrustables, and I was like, are there any Uncrustables? And he's like, empty. Here's one.
Yeah, there was one left.
One Uncrustable.
Half frozen Uncrustables, so that was a good.
I was like, give me that thing. I'm putting it in my back.
The Coke was they had bottles of Coke. It was just like ransacked. The place was.
Yeah.
So yeah, if you plan to do a winter ultra, and we talked about it beforehand, I'm planning on all the water stocks to be frozen.
Yeah. Well, on that note, once we got out on that levee and we're walking in the cold wind, I had my ultra vest on with my 2 flasks in the vest, and I had little straws on mine that come up. They're like 4 or 5 inches long and come up towards your mouth. Well, mine both froze because I didn't blow the water out.
Yep.
And it was so cold out there. So when we got to the turnaround point, when we finally got to it, and we turned around, I went to take a sip of water and got nothing.
Yeah.
And so I spent the next 10 or 15 minutes walking with my hand on the straw and breathing my hot air into it, trying to get it to thaw. And I got one of them to thaw, the one with the salt in it, which was good, and it was something. But that's another thing to consider. They talked about that ahead of time. Sean even put something out, like telling you had a bladder in your back that the straw would freeze if you didn't blow it out. So it was mentioned, but by that point in the race, I wasn't thinking that much about it. Nate didn't have straws on his, so he didn't have to worry about it.
Right. But see, that whole section, I never told you this, and again, I'm excited about the follow-up, is I didn't drink hardly any water that entire section.
Really?
Because I was afraid of how long it was.
Yeah.
And I knew that those water drops were going to be frozen.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I know Ryan needs this water more than I do.
Oh, jeez, man.
I'm going to nurse this one that I have that I had tailwinds in, and then I'm going to save the other 500 or 600 milliliters. I'm not going to drink this one because if Ryan needs it, he can have that one, and I'll just nurse this one.
Jeez.
And I'm like,
get you a selfless pacer like
well,
me.
but no, I don't say it for that, but it's like,
but really,
but as a pacer though, especially when you have those long sections like that, you have to think about what they're going to possibly need, or bring another bottle with you because of the needs of the trail and the environment. Like,
I think if we could do it again, I think we would bring another bottle.
Yeah.
Like in your back or in a pocket even. I mean, at that point, I didn't really care what we were carrying. Obviously, like ounces equal pounds and pounds equal pain eventually, but I would have carried another bottle for that stretch and been perfectly fine with it. Also, maybe a little bit more food.
Yeah.
That stretch was probably the stretch that we did the least good at taking care of ourselves, eating and drinking.
Mm-hmm.
Early on that stretch, you like fed me some beef jerky, I think.
Yeah.
And then after the turnaround point, I did eat that Uncrustable, so that was good. But we just didn't force the food and water down like we should have. So
Yeah.
Hindsight's 2020, but that was a rough section.
Yeah, it was.
But we got to that turnaround point
Mhm.
with the head-on wind. It was awful. Turn around. Now the wind's at our back.
Yep.
And we got the sunrise directly in front of us. It's like, man.
Yep.
I don't know if it was worth it, but it was worth it.
It was worth it, yeah. Sunrise. You even tried to run at one section. We got it on video. It's on
did.
the Instagram. And I think you were just kind of moving your arms like you were running.
I mean, my legs
were running.
My legs were moving slightly faster than they were.
Slightly faster. So, yeah, we had a little chuckle there. It was like some off Star Wars, too, watching the sunrise, because if you stood on the levee and looked due north, you could see the moon and the sun in the same, like, in your peripherals.
It's pretty cool.
So,
and it was, the whole night. We didn't even talk about that. The whole night. Sorry, this probably won't be the case for anyone listening when they go to do this run, but we had almost a full moon.
Yeah.
I don't know if it was a full moon
it was real close.
or like one off, but either way, super bright. So bright that we were able to walk down a lot of these roads with no lights on, like headlamps off.
Nice break on your eyes.
Oh, it was such a nice break, and it's just like peaceful walking down the road with no light.
Yeah, that was really nice.
Yeah.
And then once we hit that turnaround, you head back the other 6.25, whatever it is, miles back to Charlie Lake.
Walk back by the frozen water station.
Yep. And then you get to Charlie Lake. We will talk about the pivotal turning point of the race on the next episode, but we had a good morale boost at Charlie Lake.
Yeah.
And then
things were looking bleak after that 12 miles.
Yeah, it was pretty ugly. And then when you go back to Fishhole, it's a power line and then the finish. There's a lot that happened in that section that we're going to open up in the next episode. But overall, this is a great first 100 miler.
Yeah, I wholeheartedly think that anybody who's looking at 100-mile distance and contemplating it, I think that you would enjoy this. I think that it's extremely achievable for everybody. I mentioned some things earlier in this that I would like caution you on or give some advice to. Another piece of advice I would give is that they will say this is a flat 100 miler, and it is. And they'll say that it's runnable, and it is. But don't forget that both of those things don't change the distance. It's still 100 miles long. If you go out on this thing thinking, oh, it's flat, oh, it's runnable, I'll just run the whole thing. You probably won't. And you're going to end up death marching for the last 20 miles.
Yeah.
And it's going to be miserable towards the end. So just early on, especially in those technical areas, take advantage of that as your like excuse if you need one to walk early. And just walk early, walk often. Towards the back half, when you're on all these exposed roads, if you got the energy, run, baby, run. There ain't nothing stopping you except some wind.
Yeah.
But yeah, just know that going into it, that it's definitely achievable. It's a fun one. It is beautiful for Florida.
Yep.
It's not going to be like a mountain beautiful ultra, but you're in Florida. So obviously you know that.
Definitely captures the serene landscape of Florida for sure.
Yeah. If it wasn't so cold, I would have been afraid of gators. So,
yeah, that's true.
I mean,
I didn't see any iguanas, man.
Dude, we weren't far enough south for iguanas.
Well,
and it was definitely way too cold for iguanas.
I wanted to see them passing out of the trees.
And Nate's like, I want to see an iguana fall out of a tree. I was like, first off, that's messed up. Secondly, it's too cold.
Yeah, I was hoping to find
they're in a hole.
Hibernating iguanas on the trail. Bringing a hard hat because you get smoked by one.
It was so cold. I think I saw let me think. I don't know if I saw any wildlife other than one raccoon.
Yeah, I didn't see any. I didn't even see birds, man. Nothing.
I saw some birds. Oh, speaking of birds, while we're on this, the first aid station, I wish I remember what that one was called. Swift Creek? No, that's not the other race. Anyways, the first actual aid station that we were talked about. So there's a water station early on and then an aid station. Then you do this little loop, the one that was a little wet, and you come back to the same aid station. Well, that little loop where it's a little wet, that was probably the prettiest part of the trail.
Really?
The entire race, yeah. Because you run out on this loop, you run past the little wet area that's mucky, and then you are running along this river for not that long, for like a half mile maybe, but there is nothing out there.
Really?
There's nothing. And I stopped along the river right there and just listened. The birds were going nuts in the trees.
That's cool.
Absolutely nuts. I wish I would have taken my phone out and videoed it, but I was just so caught up in the moment that I was like, man, this is beautiful. Not a sound except for these birds going nuts.
That's cool.
And just the water on that river was perfectly still. I was like, dude, this is beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
So
cool.
that was the forgotten Florida moment right there.
That's cool.
That I was like, this is cool. I would do this again just for that.
That's the cool thing is you cover so much topography and landscape over 100 miles that it really is a journey for sure.
Yeah. And if you're like listening to this and you're thinking 100 miles is crazy, you guys are idiots. Maybe. Go do the 50.
Yeah.
I think you get every bit of beauty out of this race in the first 50 miles. The second 50, you get to like see some of it again, and then a lot of that road that we talked about. And it's just a giant out and back, the second 50 is. So the first 50 is pretty much all point to point.
Yeah.
And it's so nice.
Yeah.
So nice. Like if I ever went back to do this race, I wouldn't do the 100 again. I would do the 50.
Really?
Yeah. I would go do a different 100 some other place, some other time.
Yeah.
But I would do that 50 again.
That's cool.
It was nice. And you'd still get to experience the swamp.
True. Yeah.
Maybe waist deep. I don't know.
Yeah. See what the weather does next year.
Yeah.
So, but yes, if you're thinking about doing this race, hopefully this was beneficial to you.
Yep.
Hopefully you have a good synopsis of the course as a whole, the run bum experience, if you will. Overall, I would say that it was a positive experience. It was a good first 100 for you, and we learned a lot. And if this entices you, stay tuned for the next episode, because the next one is going to be really the happenings and the kind of the more unfiltered version of what lessons we learned and some of the happenings. Yeah. I even have some things that I haven't even told Ryan that happened that night.
Oh boy.
Yeah, it's going to be good.
This is it's going to be good. This is like the physical, what to expect, and the next one is the mental of what we actually saw.
Yeah. So thanks for tuning in, guys, to another episode of the Suffer Up podcast. Again, please stay tuned with all the happenings here at Suffer Up. This will be coming out the week of our Punch Out Ultra, so stay tuned for a update on how that race goes and how everything transpired with that. We're really excited about it and super thankful to all of our sponsors for that race. And again, stay tuned for more, guys. We love y'all, and as always,
Suffer Up.